Welcome to A Financial Advisor and Pastor Walk into a Bar, Revelation Part 22. In this episode, Pastor Jason and financial advisor Benjie begin Chapter 6 when Jesus starts breaking the seals and the horsemen are unleashed. Let's listen in.
We got 5 books behind us and more than half the year gone. Let's talk about slow going here.
Yep.
So 6 is the first seal, rider on the white horse. Okay,
Yes.
so we're going through all the seals here, except the 7th, right?
Except the 7th. The 7th is the prolonged one.
Oh my gosh, this is a long chapter.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. So I'm thinking this is like
We may get through the first 3.
I was about to say, I was thinking 1 seal per episode.
Yep.
'Cause I break these up by like 3 episodes per time we go and record.
Gotcha.
All right, so this is the one that was on that people talked about for the Olympics, the open ceremony, the white horse and the white rider. Do you remember that?
No.
There was a part of the opening ceremony. I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on there. But there was one where they had, I guess it was a white horse and a rider in white that was going across the water. And,
There's part of me that does remember a little bit of that.
yeah.
Okay. I hadn't even thought about that for a long time. Because, it was like really shallow water.
Okay.
And so it made it, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't it make it look like the rider was riding, or like the horse was running on water?
I think
Is
it
that
was.
right?
I
Okay.
think that was part of the controversy that people brought up. But yeah, it was. I mean, there's a whole lot going on, and that just kind of added to the argument that this was a mockery of, the Bible.
Where was this last Olympics at?
France.
It was in France. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep, Paris, France. So that's where that was. But we're here to go and talk about the seals and the horses. So the discovery I had from the last time we talked was that the seals being broken and the corresponding consequences that were coming, or the punishments, or the results of whatever havoc that was going to happen, was not what was written in the scroll. It was just the result of breaking the seal.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I didn't know that. So I guess we're going to eventually talk about what was written in it.
Okay.
I don't know, I'm asking.
With the first 6 seals, there's not anything written about them.
Okay. Do we get to it after the 7th seal? I don't remember.
No.
Oh.
No. So the first 6 seals are the precursors, if you will, to the 7th seal.
Yeah.
But all the description happens with the breaking of the 7th seal.
Okay.
But it's the first 6 that basically set the tone. And really what we find happening is with each seal, there's a representation of the horse and the rider.
Yeah.
Each one has a representation, but it only gets worse with each rider.
Okay.
And getting to the 7th seal, then of course it gets even absolutely more worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
Okay. Well, let me go and read the first horse here. So
All right.
This is Revelation 6:1, and the subheading is the first seal, rider on white horse. And I'm reading in ASB. Then I saw when the Lamb broke one of the 7 seals, and I heard one of the 4 living creatures saying, as with a voice of thunder, "Come." I looked, and behold, a white horse, and he who sat on it had a bow, and a crown was given to him, and he went out conquering and to conquer. So I don't know if that white horse that was in the Olympics opening ceremonies, if the guy had a bow, but anyway, I'd have to go and look it up. So we have a white horse, a rider with a bow, and a crown was given to him, and he went out conquering and to conquer.
Yeah.
Why is it mentioned that way? Conquering, and he went out conquering and to conquer.
What he did and his purpose. So what he did was conquer, and what his purpose was to conquer.
Okay.
So he fulfilled the very purpose in which he was given.
Okay. I came to do and I'm doing.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so what do we got here? What's the background?
So a lot of people, because it's a white horse, and we think about righteousness, we think about peace, you know, it's real easy to go, oh, well, this is Jesus, and he had a crown, and he was conquering and righteousness, and this is not Jesus at all.
Yeah.
Because Jesus, the Lamb, is the one who's breaking the seals.
Okay, yeah.
And so this is a white horse who has a purpose, but yet in this, or the white horse with the rider, there's purpose and there's communication that's happening just through the representation of the coloring and who they are and everything, and even the bow in his hand. So all that being said, is what we gather from this, and most theologians would agree upon, is one, this is definitely not Jesus, but the white does represent not necessarily righteousness, but rather rule or military power.
Okay.
So it's position, it's authority, it's number one. You know, the home team is always white. You know, that it's this idea that they have the position. This horse and this rider has position. They're the leader. They're the authority. And this bow, it is a weapon. Some older interpretation would try to talk about a staff, like a shepherd's staff.
Okay.
But most theologians are like, this is not a shepherd's staff. This is a bow. This is a war instrument, or an instrument of war.
Yeah.
And its purpose is to kill. And what is significant about the crown is that this crown, this authority, is being given to this rider.
Yeah.
And so they have this designated purpose. And so when we think about this idea of, it says he came to conquer, or for the purpose of conquering and to conquer,
Yeah.
is this whole thing here is this idea of peace.
Okay.
So he is coming to bring peace. He is conquering to bring peace, but he is putting people under his rule, and yet he's offering peace.
Okay.
And it's significant to know that, because the next rider very quickly takes the peace away. And so there is a level of conquering that is happening, but yet with, like, you know, most kings and kingdoms, they say, hey, you know, we come in peace. You know, they're conquering, but they're coming to bring peace.
Okay.
But they're still coming to conquer you. You're going to be under their rule.
Right.
And that's what this ruler is doing. And he will do what's necessary with a bow to get you to come under his authority.
Mm-hmm.
But it's this idea of, I'm doing it for the sake of peace.
Okay.
And then we're going to see the transition happen with the second rider. It's going to be a little bit different. We're going to see how quickly that peace is short-lived. But this is the first rider, and I think it's interesting how what we're seeing happen is, with each of these seals, as these seals are broken, we got to remember that this is Jesus's will happening. Mm-hmm. And I think that's for all of us that look at Jesus as this peaceful, righteous, saving everyone, we do have to remember he is the lamb, and he is also the lion.
Yeah.
He is the savior, but he is also the king, and he is the judge. And this is a part of his judgment that is being fulfilled by his will.
That, what you're just saying, reminded me of, it was in Matthew. I was just listening to this morning. Matthew, maybe 7, maybe 8, I don't know. But it's in Matthew where he says, I didn't come to give peace or make peace. I came to cause division. With a double-edged sword or something like that.
Matthew 10, verse 34. Do not think that I came to bring peace on the earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword.
It's interesting that it's part of this. All right, so the next rider and then the second seal. My subheading says the second seal - war, which I'm kind of like going back to the first one. Why didn't it describe that one as peace? It just says rider on a white horse, but the subheadings aren't biblical. Right?
No, that's post. That's to try to help clarify some things.
Okay, so starting with 3, when he broke the second seal, referring to Jesus, I heard the second living creature saying, "Come." And another, a red horse, went out, and to him who sat on it, it was granted to take peace from the earth, and that men would slay one another, and a great sword was given to him. Okay, exactly what you were saying. So he's designated to go and take peace away from earth.
Yeah. He's using the military.
Okay.
And he has come to bring death. He has been given a great sword, and with that sword he will wield his power and he will slay men. Now it's important to just kind of back up here for a second. I should have said this right before we got into the first seal.
Yeah.
Based upon your interpretation of Revelation, whether this being a historical viewpoint or a futurist viewpoint, the historical viewpoint would say that all of these seals represent periods of time with the emperors over about a 400-year period within the Roman Empire.
Okay.
And so this has been completed. This is all done. This is simply from the historical perspective. This at the time was to communicate basically here's what the next 400 years would look like.
Okay.
And what we would see, now it wasn't necessarily a period of time that was determined, but now in hindsight we say, oh yeah, that was about a 400-year period. So what's interesting is you can, this is a legitimate argument, you can look at these things and say, well, this applies to this military or this emperor and maybe these few emperors and this, and yeah, it makes sense with these horses, with these riders. But there's also the viewpoint of the futurists that would say, hey, these things are still yet to come.
Okay.
And while the correlation could be made from the Roman perspective, if you look at Revelation as being a futurist endeavor or a future endeavor, then this is what's going to happen as part of the Great Tribulation.
Okay.
So the church, they would say the church has been removed from this earth. Believers have been removed from the earth, and now this is the judgment of God upon all those who are left.
Okay.
But this is not the final judgment.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Where there's two judgments, it seemed like, because they'll be in front of the seat, I guess.
Yeah, the great white throne judgment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is not yet that great white throne judgment.
Okay.
This is the judgment over your physical life.
And this is like giving another, I was going to say second chance, but it's like more than a second chance. It's another chance to go and confess and repent.
Yeah, and when we'll see that here in a minute with the fifth seal. Yeah. There's a little bit of conversation about what does part of that fifth. There's a couple things within that fifth seal that the question is, well, what does that mean? And one interpretation, though not wholly agreed upon, it means that it is partly that idea that some can still come to know Christ, even in the tribulation. And so this would be that time as they're going through these seals breaking, people can still come to know Christ. So it's not too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would they not think that is a possibility, that people during the tribulation can come to Christ?
Some have said that when the tribulation happens is because, depending upon your viewpoint, and this is all where it gets into all these different things, some would say that when the tribulation happens, you've lost your chance, because now it's just a matter of God's judgment happening. Okay. And it's just the beginning phases of his judgment. And others would argue and say, well, because God is righteous and God is always willing to give everybody another chance, right, they too can still accept Jesus as Lord and Savior as they're going through the judgment or the tribulation. Okay. And so, depending upon your interpretation of Revelation, kind of determines how you feel about that. So. Okay. Yeah.
So the message I get is you need to do it now.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, why not? Why wait? Why chance it? Yes.
Right. Exactly. You said, or I might be remembering incorrectly. Okay. And that's just like 5 minutes ago. Yeah. So it's futurist. It's to come. The seals are being broken, revealing what's to come. And the other one is historical. It's in the past.
Yeah, the historical perspective.
It's actually something that taken. When we talk about the past, we're talking about the past as in before John.
No, the past. Basically, John's life and after the 400 years, roughly after.
Okay, a period that's right. So it already had taken place to us, but not to him.
Correct. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
because it all was about the Roman Empire. So the historical perspective would say the revelation that John experienced was a message communicating how Christianity would rise again out of the ashes of the Roman Empire.
Okay.
And the Roman Empire, as the persecutors, as the oppressors, would fall. The dragon, the beast, was the Roman Empire.
Okay.
And so the Roman Empire would fall and it would die and it would be cast down. Okay. And God would bring the Christians up out of the ashes of the Roman Empire.
That's interesting. I'm going to have to walk through this as we go with that perspective of the Roman Empire being the beast. Because I think when I was going through it in BSF, we were thinking, Satan as being one of them, the Antichrist being... The beast and the Antichrist are separate, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't remember who was who, but that's the perspective I would come from the last year's study. So there was if I'm a Christian and I'm hearing this book of Revelation, or a letter is probably what it is, right, that's being passed around, and I hear this and I'm thinking it in terms of the Roman Empire, then I'm thinking that there's a period of peace that's supposed to be coming. And then after that period of peace with this second rider, then we're going to get into like an all-out war or something.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Got it.
Well, and even part of it, so, and this is where my memory doesn't necessarily serve me correctly, and I may be fibbing on this unintentionally, but with that idea of the white horse and the rider, the peace that they had experienced with the Roman Empire, if memory serves me correctly, it was to illustrate the fact that this is the experience you guys have had with Rome.
Okay.
And so, remember when they came in and we offer peace, because Rome was, as an empire, Rome was very interesting.
Yeah.
When they would come in to conquer, their hope and their plan was, you just continue governing yourselves.
Yeah.
Just pay us what is ours, and we'll leave you alone.
Okay.
If we need to conquer you and kick your tails and kill everybody and send you off, we will.
Yeah.
But we don't want to do that.
We just want your money.
Yeah, we don't want to fight.
Yeah.
We'll just adopt you. We'll provide protection. We'll leave some of the military here to make sure you stay under control.
Yeah.
But there will be peace. So that whole idea of Pax Romana, Roman peace,
Yeah.
And so this is to show that you have experienced that, and then check out this rider and check out this rider, and it's only going to get worse.
Okay.
But as it gets worse, eventually it will come to an end and Christianity will rise up again.
All right. Makes me want to think, see what we're going on to the next one with the third rider. Is there anything more with our second one, War?
No, I mean, of course, everything is symbolic in this sense, from the standpoint, it's red, blood and death. He took peace. How quickly he took peace. I mean, it was just, it was instantaneous. And so his job was to kill.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So then on to number 3 here. I have it as...
You've been listening to a financial advisor and pastor walk into a bar. Sometimes Benjie and Jason raise more questions than answers because God has a message for you, and you're not going to hear it unless you open the Bible and read it for yourself. Thanks for listening.